Hey friends, it's me, Jurassic James. I'm still here in the quarry, and I'm talking to Dr. Karen Poole, who has been, first of all, I will tell you, has given me great advice on degrees, careers. Brilliant person. I am in awe. It's one of those things people go like, oh James, we respect and like you so much. Like, this is who I respect and like a lot. So just appreciate that, like the mentor kind of thing. So first, tell us who you are, what you do, just everything that you told me earlier.
Sure, sure. Yeah, so my name's Karen Poole, and I am a paleontologist. I study mostly Iguanodontian dinosaurs. I'm really interested in what we call phylogenetics, which is basically figuring out how all these different species of dinosaur are related to each other. So if you've ever seen those sort of branching pattern trees, like showing how species are related, I make those. And there's a lot of math and statistics involved in that, and a lot of anatomy, and I love both of those things. And actually, right then, I'll speak to what I actually sort of do for a living, so to speak, is that I teach human anatomy to medical students. So that's my day job, so to speak, but research on dinosaurs is part of that. And everyone is always surprised to learn this. Medical students are surprised to learn that they're going to be learning anatomy from a bunch of paleontologists, but it's a pretty common thing, actually. And I'd love some actual statistics and and like percentages on this of how many like professional paleontologists are actually earning their money teaching anatomy in some form, whether it's medical school, vet school, dental school, undergraduate or high school, any of those things. But teaching anatomy is a big thing that we do because we have to know at least the osteology, the anatomy of the bones, really, really well. And that all relates to the muscles and the organs and all the other soft parts. So it's easy enough to learn that stuff too and then teach it.
Cool. And so the main thing to point out is, for me at least, is that people just think you have to do straight up paleo. You're going to have a job as a curator, and even though there's very few museums comparatively speaking, seeing that there's like other ways to do it. We talked about that like the other night. We're like, there's so many ways to be a paleontologist. And so I think a lot of kids ask me, a lot of parents really ask me, my kid likes that, what do I do with this? And so how do you
Yeah, for
that?
sure. And like that's one of the things I love about paleontology is there's so many ways to be a paleontologist, right? Yes, there is this sort of classic idea of a museum curator, and that's an awesome job, but there aren't that many of them, to be honest. You can also work as like a preparator in a museum, so like taking these fossils that we're getting out of the quarry and like very patiently, very carefully picking the rock off of them, gluing pieces together. And a lot of people that work as preparators actually have backgrounds in things like art and sculpture. There's people with a more educational background who work in education, either in museums or teaching in a high school or a university kind of setting. Or I should add college in there too, right? Community college, four-year college. So there's teaching at like all different levels. So yeah, there's all kinds of ways to be a paleontologist. And if you're a parent and your kid is thinking about this, there are applications of paleontology, whether they are really great at art or computer programming or just sort of science generally or outdoorsy stuff like rigging up tarps. All of these skills can be applied in paleontology. So there's just so many pathways you can take to it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that because I think it's like when your parents say something over and over again, and then a stranger says, "Oh, okay, it's real." Mm-hmm. I'm always preaching this message, and like you're smiling, like, "No, I'm actually doing this.
Yeah.
Here I am."
Yeah.
Like that. So I know you don't you're not like promoting anything, but is there anywhere anything you want to tell them? I'll put in the description, like an email, if you have questions, or if you suggest to go somewhere, anything like that, just anything.
Sure. Let's see. I guess I can. I mean, if you have like specific questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. My email is kpoole@nyit.edu, and I guess I'll promote a group that I do some kind of like outreach work with, which is Skype a Scientist. It's a really cool program to hook up mainly like teachers in classrooms with scientists who can it's just basically a matching service.
Nice.
So I, as a scientist, kind of put in some details about myself, and then sometimes I get contacted by a teacher who wants me to come talk about paleontology. But I've also gotten requests just from families, you know, either homeschooling or just they want a little extra project or enrichment for their kids. And like, I'm always happy to talk to people about paleontology. And Skype Scientist is a great program.
I like the humility and humbleness of all of you guys, because you're like, I don't have anything to really promote much, and I'm like, that's amazing. I mean, people are gonna be like, oh.
I sort of just thought about it, because I don't like run the program. I'm not in charge of it, you know. But it's a thing I participate in, and it is a pretty cool thing.
Got it. But it's just that I found myself as being like a hub where people like, I refer to myself as your friendly neighborhood dinosaur man. And so it's like the Avengers, and not Marvel, but in the comic, the Avengers are fighting Thanos. Spider-Man usually fights local guys. So like they see me as this local guy.
Right.
So I'm trying to connect with people like you and other people. It's like that's a really cool resource that you just were like, oh yeah, that thing.
Oh yeah, by the way, that other thing that I do sometimes. Yeah, yeah.
That's something that's really cool. So thank you. And I'll get that written down and put it in the description for you guys.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add or just?
No, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Poole.
Thank you.
I'll never bother you again.